Welcome back to my writing studio. I'm so close to finishing this draft. I'm excited and nervous, and to be honest, a little nostalgic. I wrote the very first draft of the story back in 2016, and my last day of writing was here. I was in the city of San Francisco, the city from Vikram Seth's first novel, The Golden Gate. It's taken me close to 4 years to bring this story to a point where I feel comfortable moving forward and start planning to release this book. But it's been a hard 4 years, hounded by my inner critique. And today, I want to talk a little about that. We all have that voice at the back of our mind that's constantly doing a performance review, I feel. Did we do our best? Really? That could have been better. Are you going to leave it at that? Really? Maybe our inner critique's observations are spot on and even valid. But where does it stop? When do you stop fixing your art, your story, and move on to the next one? How much should you allow your inner critique to have a say in whatever you're creating? I have been working on my novel, The Rajput, for what I think is a long time. Of course, there are authors who have taken decades to finish working on their books. But for me, 4 years feels forever. And along the way, I have taken my manuscript and pressed Shift Delete and started all over again more than once. Although I still have all those drafts backed up in Dropbox, but in that moment, it feels cathartic to do that, Shift Delete and start over. But then it got easier to believe that the story was no good and to delete all the words over and over again. That became a comfortable thing to do than to write a crappy first draft and work off of that. There is a reason why people say it's easier to fix a bad first draft than a blank page. Technically, I did finish the first draft and a few after that. But my inner critique convinced me that it was never good enough. You are not a good writer. What makes you think you can do it? Why are you even wasting your time doing this? It's hard enough to have people in our lives who say these discouraging things, but when your inner critique sides with them, it's worse. And when you dwell on that even for a little bit, it's won. It's taken you away from creating the thing you most want to do. Over the last 4 years, it's been easy to start writing. In fact, I feel I have mastered that. But finishing a writing project, that's where I need to silence my inner critique. And then there is that imposter feeling. That's a beast of its own. When it comes to fight or flight, my instinct is always flight. I don't do well with confrontations, so it's not easy to confront my inner critique either. It's easy to let go, retreat, and it takes a lot of energy to go against my natural instinct of flight. It gets exhausting if I am constantly fighting that natural instinct. And that's why it's important to rest a little, to have friends and people in general who fight for you, even when it means fighting with you so you don't give up. I still have a few weeks to finish this manuscript, but I am getting closer to finishing. I don't hear from my inner critique as much, but I know it's waiting to show up, and it will. And when it does, I think I know what I'm going to do. Ask it to sit by the window for a little bit. It needs some fresh air. Being all in the head all the time has made my inner critique a little nasty. But bad jokes aside, I feel it's a natural thing, a way to protect ourselves. If we don't write or create art, there will be nothing to fail at. Even if after all these years my book is not as good and people don't like it, I'll still have created something. It's brave to do something even if you fail at it than not do anything at all. And I want to be that. I don't mean a bad writer, but I'd rather be a bad writer who's working to better their craft than to not be a writer at all. It's important to acknowledge those feelings, know and understand why that inner critique is so bitter all the time. It's easier when you know why it's saying the things it says and then ignore them than just trying to ignore those feelings up front. That won't work in the long term. You can be as objective about what you are creating and know how much more work you need to do to bring it to the point where it represents you. But beyond a point, it's not going to add any value. So let's stop criticizing our work. Does that make sense? How do you keep your inner critique quiet? Alright, back to writing. Click on this video if you'd like to do a writing sprint with me, or any of these other videos. And I'll see you in the next one.